Third phase.
News stories reported into us, what we like to hear, videos, experiences with extraterrestrial beings. You know, they exist. There are millions of people that claim every year that they've been abducted. Just in the United States alone, the phenomenon is real. Just this past few days right here at Third Phase Moon, lots of information has come in to the public. You know, what was NASA thinking when they called it "What the F"? You know, dubbed by NASA themselves of a mysterious metallic object setting its way, a path towards the Indian Ocean. What that's all about is, to me, quite curious when NASA doesn't even know what's going on in our outer space. A metallic object, you would figure they'd know it's one of ours. What else could be metallic? And then they don't know what it is, and they call it WTF 1190F via what the F. But also other people are saying that there's a 9/11 conspiracy. What's up with the 119 right after the WT World Trade Center towers? People are, I don't know. It boggles my mind what NASA and how they operate. Also, Renee Bajurke submitted a video all the way from Sutherland, Oregon. And usually don't post these kind of videos. A simple dot in the sky. Wow. I get millions of these all the time. And obviously, when you're on location witnessing this for yourself, it could be quite exciting. But remember, if it's just a dot in the sky, put it up on your YouTube channel and share it. But, we want to see something that's unusual. And that's what took place in this video. All of a sudden, it starts to flash in a pulsating array of display, and then suddenly something is dispatched, and it was panic on the ground. We wanted to thank Renee. I'm hoping she could call in tonight. We want to get her reaction, because her reaction was quite priceless, because when you see something like that, it's quite amazing. You know what, we're going to get the lines filled up. We also got some Ed has some new stuff out. Ed posted up some new video, some new photographs. And I gotta say, they boggle my mind. Either this guy is the biggest, or he has a major budget. Either he has a major budget, he has some major props. Hollywood, I'd have to say, on a standard of a big scale prop designer. Because when I look at this thing, looks bigger than, the size of a minibus. As you see in the photographs that we're going to be posting up on Third Phase Moon in regards to Ed's new evidence, you can see it casting a shadow on the building. We're hoping that Ed calls in tonight, obviously. This is Blake Cousins. Thanks for joining us right here. We'll be right back, taking calls from around the world.
Transmission completed.
You're live, Third Phase.
Hey, Blake, can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. Where are you calling from?
Oh, this is Jessie. I called in last time. I had the experience I had in the woods with friends, and I tried to download my pictures for you, but I couldn't do it. Is there a special link or a special site I'm supposed to download those pictures for?
Jesse, welcome back to Third Phase. Appreciate it.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
You know what? Your story, I was quite amazed with how some of the comments came along to your story, and everybody has their own experience when they have these kind of encounters. And some people were saying that when you're trying to explain to me your experience, that you were kind of laughing and whimsical in its own sense. And I was saying to these people, it's a nervous laughter. You're saying this for the first time to people. Obviously,
out loud publicly, yes. Yeah, exactly. Now, it wasn't funny at the time, but I look back at it, and I'm like, wow, really? For real? Green men. I didn't ever think that would ever be happening. And sure enough, impossible happened. So
absolutely.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, it was nervous laughter. I mean, it's not really funny, and it's not something I can change. I mean, I had to go through a lot of counseling because of it. And
really?
It took me a long time to be able to open up about it to people, because people thought it was crazy. And I tried for a long time to explain it away myself and say, well, maybe I was seeing things, but I was awake when it happened, so it's not really much room left to explain it away. I wasn't on drugs when it happened. I was 14, and that was the first time. It happened more than once, so it continually happened more than once. If it just happened one time, it'd be like one thing, but it continually happened throughout my whole life. And I've seen hypnotherapists, I've seen counselors, I've gone through a lot of soul searching, it changed my religion. And so when it comes to something this traumatic, when you're faced with another life form, there's no government can tell me that it's not real. It was right there in front of my face. So yeah, it was.
You know, Jesse, let's get down to this and get details exactly, face to face with an alien being. You just killed one, as you stated a week or so ago, and it turned into some kind of liquid. Explain to me again.
A puddle of light. Yeah, a puddle of light. Oh. It looked like liquid light. I don't know how to explain it. I've never seen it another time. I mean, I don't really know how to describe it to somebody else, other than it looked like a puddle of liquid light, and it was fluorescent green.
Wow. Do you think some people claim, experts, so-called experts, and, you know, I'll take this with a grain of salt, but, you know, some people really actually believe that these alien grays are hybrids, kind of possibly cyborg, half biological, half cyborg, created by this draconian race. Do you think this is part machine?
The short grays, I believe they are a biological machine, yes. The tall grays, they're the actual aliens. The reptilians are enemies of the grays. They're not in cahoots. They're not working together. They're actually, the reptilians are bad. They're not a benevolent. They're not good.
Hold on a sec. Yeah. Hold on a sec, Jesse. Wait, sorry. You actually.
That's okay.
You've been in contact with the reptilians as well.
No, they just told me about them. I didn't see the reptilians. All I saw was the grays and the surgeon that looked like a praying mantis. It was crazy. It could only move its head to the left and the right. It didn't move it up or down. And that was the one that did a lot of the surgeries. I mean, I'm okay to talk about it, but they did everything from putting a needle in my eye to taking my sperm to, they did a whole bunch of stuff. And for why, I don't know. Part of me thinks that they're trying to study the soul because they don't have emotions like we have. They don't, I knew they had to have some compassion because they erased the memory of pain, but they didn't make the pain go away. Does that make sense?
Through a lot of the encounters that we hear, absolutely. You know, let me ask you.
That's what they did. Mm-hmm.
Let's get back to this and I got to remind people, when he was 12 years old, he was taking martial arts. 14, yeah. He was taking martial arts, and he walked around with a martial arts stick. And I took Aikido when I was started Aikido when I was 14, and we walked around with the sticks, and we call them Joes. And we felt that it was a protective and one of the heavy sticks. So when he killed this alien gray, what did you feel? Like, good, I killed it? Did you feel remorse?
No, I was so scared out of my mind that I didn't care, and that was my intent because it was trying to come in the tent. It was opening up the zipper of the tent, and I hit the staff at the door of the tent. I hit something solid, but it was soft. It wasn't like it wasn't like hitting a rock. It was more like hitting a pillow. It was soft, but it was solid. It was something there. And when I opened the tent to see what was out there, because we heard foot patter, we heard twigs snapping and leaves crunching, we thought some drunk hobo was trying to break into our camp. That's what we thought, to be honest. We thought somebody was just... they found it and they didn't think anybody was there, and so they were going to try to do something. We didn't have no clue. And so when I opened up the tent, when I saw that, it happened so long ago. I still remember it as if it happened yesterday. It will never go away. The memory will never go away.
Yeah, when you're in a fight and you're a 14-year-old boy and you're thinking a hobo's breaking in, all adrenaline's breaking you in your body, and there is this kind of flash in your brain that you'll never forget this. And this is what this kind of close encounter entails. But tell me, your friend was in the tent as well. Were you guys like?
Yeah, well, my friend and his girlfriend.
What was the conversation within the tent? Go ahead if you got to go ahead with the exact explicit language. We got to hear the details. Go ahead.
Well, it was. My friend Tom said, "See what that was, dude." And I said, "Fuck you. You see what it is. You have a knife." And he said, "No, you have a longer reach because you had a staff." And I was like, "Well, that's a logical point. I was good at martial arts. I've done it for 7 years, so I'm not afraid to throw down, so to speak." So I opened up the tent, and that's when I pissed myself because I was not expecting to see what I saw. I was expecting to see somebody drunk or somebody on the ground. Instead, I saw this puddle of green fluorescent light hovering above the ground, and I saw a bunch of figures running through the woods like there was no trees in their way. And then when I looked over 10 feet away, there was an alien peeking its head behind a tree. And that's when it scared the shit out of me, man. I'm not going to lie. I'm not, by any means, I'm not afraid of much, but that was something to make me pee myself.
Absolutely. Then what? Did you tell your friends, like, hey, look, I just saw something in the woods?
Nope. That's when my mind, I was still conscious, but that's when my mind kind of went blank. It was like a dumbfounded, stuck on stupid moment. Then after, because we felt, we saw a circle of light on the top of the tent. We could see it was coming through the tent. And we were like, what the fuck is that? And it felt light. That's probably when we were up in the air on the beam of whatever they do to make you go into the ship. And then the next thing I know, I'm naked on a metal table, and they spray this stuff on me, and it turns into like a rubber latex. And they cut holes in my mouth and my nose and my eye to make it to where I could expose it. I was stuck. I couldn't move. And I remember screaming so loud, so hard, that I lost my voice. And I was looking for Tom, looking to see if I could find it. All I could see were these alien faces looking at me. And I remember hearing in my mind, "It's okay, don't be afraid." And I was like, yeah, fuck you. I don't know who you're talking to, but I don't know anybody who would go through that and not be afraid. And I felt this calmness come over me. And it was like, they really convinced me that they weren't there to hurt me. They convinced me that it'll be okay. And I kind of relaxed, and I was wanting to know I was waiting to find out what was going to happen next. And that's when I started getting scared, because that's when they started putting the needle in my eye, and I couldn't move, and it hurt. And they did all sorts of stuff.
Was there any, and there's people that automatically will say that, and they're saying I'm wasting my time with you, that I should move along to other callers. But,
sure, go ahead. I'm not trying to convince anybody. I know what happened.
When you get this close to a close encounter and a caller that calls in that's willing to share their story, I'm going to let them say what they want. And I totally am going to ask questions because I find it so fascinating that people are so quick to judge.
Well, I would say this to the people who doubt, and I would say this, I totally get where they're coming from. I doubted too. I believed that there was a possibility of other life, but I didn't really think about it too much, and I didn't think I'd ever see it. And when I saw it face to face, it changed my life forever. I've never been the same. And I would challenge somebody who doesn't believe to look out in this space at night when you see a clear night and tell me if we can be in this universe, wouldn't that automatically guarantee that something else is out there if we can be here? And this universe is so vast, we haven't even explored not even a percent of it. I totally get where they're coming from, because I was a skeptic myself before it ever happened to me. I had a friend who told me he had an experience, and I just listened to him to just go along with the story, but I never ever thought in a million years that it would ever happen to me. So I can totally understand where they're coming from. But as far as if they believe me or not, I don't care anymore if people believe me. My own mom didn't believe me. And when my mom didn't believe me, I didn't give a shit if anybody else believed me. But
Jesse, let's
go ahead. Go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. This is what Third Phase Moon's all about, is letting people share their stories. And that's what we're doing right here at Third Phase Moon. I want to move along to more of the future extraterrestrial encounters that you had. And maybe once you do that, we could, it'd be kind of cool if we could get other people to ask you questions, the public.
That
so
would be
Jessie,
great. I would love to. Yeah.
All right.
Let's
do this.
I mean, go ahead. What?
Yeah, just stand by. We're going to be right back, Third Phase of Moon. And this is the night before Halloween. And believe it or not, I'm having fun, and I hope you are. Blake Cousins, we'll be right back, Third Phase of Moon. Third Phase of Moon, Blake Cousins, we're back. Taking calls. I just wanted to make sure, is Jessie still with us? Jessie, you there?
Yep, I'm still here, yeah.
Okay, great. Let's, you know what? We're going to bring in some callers. They've been hanging on for a while, and we're going to get some more of Jessie's experience, maybe extended Third Phase of Moon radio tonight. 484. Hey, thanks for waiting. You're live, Third Phase of Moon. Welcome to the show. 484, you there? 4841. That's so weird. Every time I'm taking calls, it just drops out just like that, and there's that was a weird static sound. Let's try this. 651, you there? You're live. 651, you're live, Third Phase of Moon. Okay. 651's got to go. Let's it's a strange night tonight on the phones, but I'm glad we got Jessie with us. Let's I think we're going to San Diego right now. Kelly, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey Kelly, welcome to the show tonight.
Hey Kelly.
Thanks. Hey, how's it going?
Good. How about yourself?
So we got Jessie here.
Yeah.
And,
I was listening to a story. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Blake.
Well, I just wanted to see if Kelly heard Jessie's story from a couple weeks ago on Third Phase of Moon, the 14-year-old boy that killed an alien that lived to tell about it, and we're hoping to follow up and get some more information tonight.
Yeah, I was listening a couple of weeks ago. I heard a story where he was him and his friends were out in the woods and they were camping, and he thought he was scared, and he hit something with a stick, and I heard the rest of the story. But it's got like what you were saying, Blake, is I can understand what you were saying would be like people questioning his story, but only reason why is because now just listening to a story just now is that it kind of almost sounds like exactly like Travis Walton's story, where if you watch that one show Fire in the Sky, where he looked like he was being they put him on a table, they put that stuff on him, kind of like that jelly you were talking about. And was it kind of like that? Have you seen that show? I was just kind of wondering.
Yep, I have. And the first time I saw that show, I had nightmares for a month because there were so many similarities to what happened to Travis Walton, what happened to me, minus a few details. I did not experience that big catacombs type thing he was in with a bunch of people in that webbing he was in. I did experience the needle in the eye. I did experience that spray stuff they did, and then it turned into a latex. I experienced that. I did not at first get to roam around freely. I didn't escape. And I would love to be able to talk to Travis Walton because I would like to show him my drawings and see if he knows what they mean. After I get done with this conversation, now I have an address to download my pictures that I drew so I can give it to Blake. But for a long time, I had my drawings get stolen. They would disappear. I'd have them locked up, and they'd end up gone. And I was like, where'd they go? I put them there, and now they're not there. I experienced all of that, yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering as well, as like you were talking about the beings that maybe had talked with you, or I guess it might have been telepathically, or telling you about the reptilioids or other species. Am I catching that right?
Yeah.
So what did they say?
Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff. They showed me stuff. Not the first initial couple visits were not about showing me anything. They were about doing experiments on me. They took blood samples. They took my sperm. They took I don't know exactly everything to the extent of what they did.
Jesse, let me it's a touchy subject matter, but we've heard that in alien abduction encounters that women are abducted for hybrid breeding, right? And like your friend's girlfriend. And then sperm extraction by aliens, people are asking. They want to know, how is this performed?
Oh, well, there's a machine. It is touchy, but I'm okay with talking about it now because I'm open about it. I don't care what anybody thinks anymore. They had a machine that is stuck on my penis and it made it erect. It had a tingly sensation, and it almost instantly made it erect. And it had like I don't know what it was, but it made it a shock, and it made me ejaculate. It felt so good, I'm not going to lie. Obviously, you can't ejaculate on not feeling good. But it did have a machine that they put on my, area and made it instantly hard, and then it extracted sperm, and then they just put it in a simple and they froze it. Kind of like what we do for us for artificial insemination for women. They put it in a cryogenical thing and they freeze it.
Yeah, I've heard that those different stories like that. Like there's also another famous one where it was a man that was down in Australia, and but he was saying that, but it wasn't like he got abducted or anything. But what he was saying was he woke up one time after his girlfriend had went to work, and there was two females that was sitting on his bed. One looked Asian, the other one was more of a blonde. And I don't know if you guys ever heard of this one, but yeah, he was they were trying to they were like talking to him telepathically, saying that they wanted more or less have sex with them, both of them, but they were still like they were. He said they were like young women, that they were in their mid-20s or something, but the way they were acting was more like childish, like they didn't kind of know exactly how human behavior would be, like sexuality. But
right, yeah.
Yeah, the story was, I don't know if you read or heard about it, but like around his penis, they would like, he kind of pushed him off. He was scared when he with that, and then when he turned around, they were both gone, and there was a hair around his penis that was like kind of tightening up, and he had to go get it. I don't know if he had to get a surgically removed, but when he did remove it, it stung like hell. Also, other ways were, I've heard that when they extract it, didn't feel too good. More or less like I would say through like electrodes or something.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened to me, but it did feel good though. I know that sounds kind of crazy and freaky, but
no, but I could understand that too. I could understand that too, because it's part of the human anatomy to feel that way. But
right.
The other, did you see any of what type of vehicle you were on? Kind of like the one. The reason why I'm also calling too is kind of I'm pretty sure you've seen Ed's new video where he's walking up onto it, into the forest. That one was actually pretty amazing footage. If it's real, to me, it's like I've seen some of the comments that was on that you posted, Blake, was, it's like is he the new Billy Meyer? But if you look at it, some of the stuff is, even with Billy Meyer, it's so real that some people don't even think of it. That is, they think it's fake because it's so real. It's right there. It's not glowing. It's like at a settled spot, and that they're calling him. He already knew by his voice. You could tell that it's something that he's done before, over and over and over. And obviously, this being is came and visited him and. They did what they did, but I wish that Ed would call up and give us a little bit more, lead us into more what he what he went through as well.
Absolutely. Right, yeah. This that Ed video, he just posted up another video, a follow up to when he apparently was dropped off, and there's an incredible imagery of it casting a shadow on the building. He says this is an escort ship. It's not the big one. And speaking of alien ships, that's what I wanted to ask Jessie next. And Jessie, I know it's sensitive telling people this stuff, and I appreciate it. People need to know and wake up that this is a real phenomenon. It's happening to millions of people around the world on a yearly basis. Jessie, now let's get into the ship.
Okay.
What was it like? Was it a classic saucer shape? Did it have its own features? I want to hear some details on this.
Okay. The first time it happened when I was 14, it did not look like a flying saucer. It looked like a meteor. It was a big giant sphere, and it was bigger on the inside than it was on the outside. And it was when I was up in space, when I was able to walk around, they were with me. I was always escorted with two of them because I fought the first time. I was not cooperative whatsoever. I thought my life was in danger. I felt like my life was in danger, and I don't know if anybody's ever felt like they're about to die. But when you have that fear and adrenaline take over, you're going to do whatever it takes to survive. It's automatic human instinct. And after I had calmed down, after they calmed me down and they showed me some stuff, they showed me a whole bunch of stuff. I saw creatures in containers, liquid, boxes, cages. I saw like this very thin crystal, like a flat screen TV, but it was just crystal. It was see-through, but then when they touched stuff, then they did the symbols, and it basically was like a TV that showed events that's happened on our planet. It showed the destruction of what we do to ourselves, and they basically said that we were like parasites. We're consuming our resources at such a phenomenal fast rate that we're going to run out of them, and we're not going to be able to reproduce them. Once you're gone with trees, you can't just grow a tree without trees. And basically said that we are one of the only races in this known solar system or this area where there's life that kills its own kind. I mean, with abortions and for whatever reason they happen, there's not very many. There's none of the other races that I'm aware of or they're even aware of that would kill its own kind. That's like the self-defeating of its own species. When they touch the wall. Oh, go ahead. What?
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
What?
When they touched the wall, it became clear, and I thought I was going to be sucked out in space because I didn't see any wall. It was clear. I could see out in space, but I was perfectly fine. I didn't die, obviously. But when I touched it, it melted away like it would just melt like melted wax. It just melted away, and it was clear. And I could see out in space. I saw a blue planet. It was all blue. I don't think it was Pluto because it looked like it was ocean. It looked like it was an all-ocean planet. Part of me thinks that that's where one of their operations, the base operations is because they live in the ocean. They have a base in the ocean. As far as I know, they didn't explain everything to me, but they did tell me a lot, and they showed me a lot. And I kept questioning, why are you showing me this? Why is this happening to me? What's going on? And
big question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, big question. What are they trying to tell us? What are they trying to show us? It seems was there any of their ship weaponized? Did they seem like they threatened humans in a way that they're not liking what we're doing? That we're parasites. Are they going to take us out like a germ? They do have weapons. They were able to shut down our nuclear missiles without even firing any weapons. They just have technology that's so far beyond ours. We're like throwing rocks and stones, back to the Stone Age when they have laser beams that can disintegrate something. Now there's the reptoids, from what they've told me, they have technology that can shoot asteroids like weapons. They are the danger. They're the ones that are, they don't even have their own planet. They live on their ship. They just destroy. They have a technology that can gather asteroids as they travel, and then they can project them with such a force that shoots them like a missile. And an asteroid, as we all know, if it hit the Earth at such a velocity, that speed, it would be devastating. And that's just a natural resource they gather through space. They're not even using a missile or any laser beam. They're just using the asteroid to be as destructive, if not more, than the atomic bomb. Yeah, they figured out how to dominate Mother Nature at its best. It's almost like a deflection and a reaction, and it's quite amazing the power of the universe and energy. Jessie, let's see if anybody wants to ask you a question. We've got Elizabeth here, but let's see. We're going to get to Elizabeth next for a question to Jessie, but let's see if 484 is here. Finally. Is 484 here on the show?
Yeah, can you hear me? I have a little couple.
Whoa. This 484 is way low on the audio. Sorry, man. I couldn't hear you. Let's see if Elizabeth has a question for Jessie. Elizabeth, you there?
Yes.
Hi,
Jessie. I live in the same state as you.
Okay.
And I'd love to see your drawings because I make one-of-a-kind jewelry. And my jewelry, a lot of people think has a lot to do with some type of alien stuff. And I'm just really curious of looking at your drawings to see if they match any of my jewelry.
Yeah. I've been told from a few people I've shown them to that they look like an ancient alien. It looks like an ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, but it's not the same as Egyptian. There's more letters and symbols rather than just pictures. But they're very detailed, and I don't use a ruler. I don't do anything. I'll get a headache until I draw it, and once I draw it, it goes away. The headache is gone, like it never was there.
Well, we got.
Have you ever seen dreams of one?
Whoop, we got a caller. Let's see if 949's with us. 949, you there? 949? Hey, we got he goes by F1. We got F1. He's pretty heavy. You been listening to the show, F1, tonight?
Yeah, man, I just didn't want to interrupt. I just really, it's such a good flow, and it's such a, I'm so glad that we finally, because years ago this wouldn't even be able to happen, so I just wanted to hear the progression because it's...
Yeah, ask a question, like, F1.
Okay,
F1,
here's a question. It is what it is, so take it for what it is. When you had your sperm drawn, after that, did you ever notice that your sperm, your ejaculations changed physical form? And if so, what was it? And then I'll tell you what happened, why I asked that question.
Okay. Well, it happened more than once. Every time after that, if I self-ejaculated myself or masturbated, it would tingle, and it would cause me. I mean, even when I was not erect, it would be tingling, and it would cause me to want to ejaculate. And when I did, my cum was thicker. It was, I've had different kinds, obviously clear, and then I've had the thick, and it was like thick, white, milky, really thick. It was almost like a glue, but it wasn't that hard of it wasn't that coercive of a sticky substance, but it was definitely thicker, and it was more white. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah, that's it. In a nutshell, I'm kind of like smiling and crying at the same time because I've had experiences since I was 2, 1, 3.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, and afterwards my sperm was always almost jelly-like.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, you guys are fucking weird.
That blows me away, bro. That's. If you didn't say that, then I don't know if I would have had as much faith as I do right now. But you're absolutely. It's just there's no way you would fucking know that. Excuse my language.
That's
because after certain abductions that I know that I had, like was confirmed by my mom before she died, God rest her soul, of over 15 times I sleptwalk, and she could never remember who brought me home in the middle of the winter with just pajamas on and why it wasn't cold and why she couldn't remember the face, almost like she was pissed off, scared, and ashamed. But it was always like jelly, and I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. Wow.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you, man. You know what? Anyone that's listening, there's no fucking way he would know that unless it's true. Because I know.
That's F1. F1 tells it like it is, and it's confirming what Jessie's saying. Wow, what do you got to say? Now you feel a little better that you're telling people this, because I'm sure it's pretty kind of stressful in the beginning.
It was. I was almost embarrassed to admit that I had an alien take my sperm. As a guy, it means I'm helpless, and I wasn't able to do anything about it to stop it. Kind of feeling violated in a way. I mean,
sure, I'd imagine.
I can imagine what Sid felt like, because I mean, I feel for women who've had bad experiences, like with molestations or rapes. But I can only imagine the different depth and level it was when it was an alien impregnating her and taking the baby. I could not imagine. I mean, I knew what it was like for me as a guy, having them do what they did to me, but I could never imagine in a million years what Sid went through when the trauma she went through was enough to make her want to kill herself.
Yes,
wow.
That's a heavy one. You were some people take this a whole different way, and wow, if you were having a child with an alien and then they abduct your child, you must be feeling like it is the end of the world, just like as any other family member that would have their child abducted. Terrifying, and knowing that you're not going to get them back at that point, hopeless. What? What are you gonna? This story continues on. We only got a few minutes left, but wow, Jessie, let's delve into this a little bit about your friend's girlfriend's suicide, and what did she tell you? How did you know that she was abducted for alien hybrid breeding?
I know that because I saw her. We were together, all together, me, Tom, and Ed. And I remember seeing her briefly on the ship. I saw Tom briefly, but we were all separated. We didn't end up in the same room. And I could hear her screaming. On top of Tom screaming and my screaming, I could still distinctly hear her voice. It was traumatizing for all of us, to say the least. I even contemplated suicide at the time because I thought it was the end of the world, or I thought it was demons, or I thought it was, I didn't know what to think. But I know that as far as, I'm a physically capable, strong man, and feeling like I was so helpless and so defenseless, nothing I could do is a feeling. The best way I could describe it when it first happened was feeling like a cage rabbit. I was in a rabbit with a pack of wolves around me, and the cage just broke open. And now I'm stuck in that cage, and the wolves are blocking my exit. But then later on, that fear went away, and it didn't scare me as much. Now, if I still saw them, of course, my initial reaction would be scare and fear, but then it goes away. It doesn't stay that same way. I'm no longer afraid of what they're going to do to me anymore, because I kind of have an idea. They still do different things, even to, as recently as 2 months ago. But as far as what she felt, I couldn't tell you. I can only tell you what I felt. And at first it was not anything good. And then later on over time, as it progressed, it became easier and easier to deal with. And eventually, believe it or not, I actually looked forward to it. Which still doesn't make sense to me.
Well, you know what? I'd take my chances just to know that we're not alone, right? Some people, that's all we want to know. And, if the end of the world is when aliens arrive and they're about to take us all out, at least we know we're not alone. And, I'm comfortable with that. Let them, put themselves forward. I'm ready. Jessie, it's an amazing show, and I really appreciate you calling in, sharing your insight. Now what I want you to do is think about something about your other experiences that you've had that we haven't heard about. Is that you've been abducted how many times? How many times have you recalled?
Oh, way more than I know about, for sure. As far as me being aware of them, being awake when it happened, at least 5.
All right. Well, let's get into one of your other encounters, and you're welcome back next week, Friday. We'll go over that. And, just, again, this is Third Phase of Moon, sharing people's stories raw. So, man, it was quite incredible. Jessie and Kelly. Hey, Kelly, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Kelly. Hey, thanks for joining us and asking the questions. And anything that you learned tonight? I've learned some things that I've quite never heard before. I've never been abducted by aliens that I'm aware of.
I've learned a lot. Every time I listen to you guys' show, we always learn something new. And that's the whole point, just sharing information and trying to get the information out. I'm glad I heard you guys and, Blake and Brent. Thanks for every week that you guys do. And Like, there's one thing I would like to say though. I wish I could be the ones that be abducted. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of UFOs, but I've never been abducted that I know of. But I would like to say that, I mean, I wouldn't mind being abducted. I kind of
You'll take your chances, right?
You'll
take your
chances. Oh yeah.
All right, Kelly,
well,
man.
Thanks for asking questions, Kelly, and thanks, Blake, for having me on the show again.
Absolutely, and you know what, everybody? It's a new time change. We're moving to a new time change. Everybody, it's going to be happening next week. If you're in New York, Friday, it's going to be now 11 p.m. New York time. LA, it's 8 p.m. Pacific time. So East Coast, 11 p.m. West Coast, 8 p.m. Next week, Friday, Third Phase of Moon Radio. Wow, it should be quite amazing. Everybody stay tuned. Check out Third Phase of Moon for the latest thing with photographs that Jessie just applied. Man, this is a wild ride tonight, and I appreciate what I do right here at Third Phase of Moon. I appreciate that everybody that shares their footage to us, because when they do, they're sharing it to the world, and I think that's what it's all about, a world collaboration. That we're not alone, people. We're not alone in this universe, and they've been here. Don't let me tell you that they're not here. They're here, people. You just heard it tonight. In my opinion, proof. Everybody, keep your eyes on the skies, and if you captured anything amazing in regards to the UFO phenomenon, reach out to Third Phase of Moon. We'll be standing by. This is Blake Cousins. We'll see you again next time.
Amazing! Did you see that? It just shot another UFO out the bottom of it. So it's okay. It's not going to hurt you, I promise.